We often build walls to protect ourselves, but sometimes, those walls become our prisons. We become experts at helping others, giving advice, and fixing their problems. But inside our own lives, we live in the empty rooms we have built, eating the coldest meals. This is a story about a man who could feed the world, but forgot how to feed himself. Chapter 1. A chef could make food that made sick people healthy. But his whole life, he only ate frozen pizza. His name was Arthur, and his restaurant, Aura, was the most famous in the city. Rich people paid thousands of dollars for his special meals that could make them feel strong and full of life. But Arthur never ate his own food. After a long night of cooking for others, he would go home to his clean, empty apartment. He would open the freezer, take out a square box, and put it in the microwave. The loud beep of the machine was the only sound in his home. The pizza tasted like cardboard and salt. It was not food. It was just something to stop the feeling of being hungry. His real hunger was for something else. The antagonist was not a person. It was the cold, empty feeling inside him. It was the silence in his apartment. One night, his phone rang. It was his younger sister, Chloe. Her voice was weak, like a small bird in the winter. "The doctors do not know what to do," she whispered. "I feel so tired, Arthur. All the time." Arthur felt a sharp pain in his chest, something colder than his frozen pizza. He tried to solve the problem the only way he knew. "I will send you my food," he said. "I will send a car every day with my best dishes. You will feel better." But after a week, she called again. "It's not working," she said, and he could hear she was crying. "It's just fancy food. It does not feel like you." Now, he had a choice. He could stay in his safe, cold world of work and pizza. Or he could close his restaurant for a week and bring his sister to his home. It was a terrible choice. To bring her into his life meant showing her the truth, that the great chef was a sad man who lived on junk food. He decided to bring her to his apartment. When she arrived, she was thin and pale. She looked at his beautiful, modern kitchen that he never used. Then she looked at the empty pizza box in his trash. She did not look angry. She looked sad. "I do not want your famous food, Arthur," she said, her voice shaking. "I just wanted my brother back." Chapter 2. He tried to act like a brother. He promised her he would cook for her himself, right there, in his own kitchen. He decided to make his most famous dish, the golden soup. It was a dish that magazines had written about. People said it tasted like sunshine. He spent hours working, cutting vegetables into perfect tiny squares. He used the most expensive ingredients. He was a perfect machine. But with every step, the feeling of failure grew inside him. The kitchen felt like a cold laboratory, not a warm home. When he gave the soup to Chloe, she took one small spoon. She put it down. "It's cold," she said, even though the soup was hot. Arthur tasted it. She was right. The soup had no taste. It was just hot water with vegetables. It had no soul. He was failing. Every day, he tried to cook something new for her. And every day, the food was lifeless. His perfect kitchen became a mess. The beautiful counters were covered in failed dishes. And in the trash, the pile of his own frozen pizza boxes grew higher and higher. Each box was a sign of his secret shame. He became angry. One afternoon, he yelled at her. "Why are you not getting better? I am doing everything right." Chloe started to cry. "You are cooking with your hands, Arthur, but not with your heart." That night, the doctor called. Chloe was not getting better. She was getting worse. "Maybe you should take her to the hospital," the doctor said. Arthur hung up the phone. He looked at his failed dishes, at his tired sister, and felt a deep, dark despair. He was a fraud. His gift was gone. Chapter 3. He sat in the dark, feeling completely lost. Chloe was sleeping. He started to clean the kitchen, throwing away the tasteless food. He found Chloe's small bag and opened it, looking for her medicine. Inside, he did not find medicine. He found an old photo album. He opened it. There were pictures of them as children, with their grandmother in her small, warm kitchen. Tucked inside the album was an old, yellow piece of paper. It was a note from their grandmother, written in her familiar handwriting. It said, "My dear Arthur, remember this secret. Good food is not from a recipe. It is from the heart. The most important ingredient is always love." He felt a spark of hope. That was it. He had forgotten the secret. He remembered a simple chicken soup their grandmother made when they were sick. He did not need expensive ingredients. He needed love. But this hope was a trap. The cold emptiness inside him heard this and smiled. Arthur went to the store. He bought chicken, carrots, and onions. He thought, "I will put love in this soup. I will force it." He cooked the soup, thinking about happy memories. But he was just playing a part. He was acting like a person who felt love. He was not that person. He brought the finished soup to Chloe. She was awake. She looked at the soup, and her face was hopeful. She took a spoon. She tasted it. Then, her face fell. "It's just chicken soup, Arthur," she said quietly. "It tastes like water." Arthur felt his world break. He had the secret ingredient, but he did not have it inside him to give. He could not even pretend. He went back to the kitchen and fell into a chair. He was at the lowest point of his life. He was not a chef. He was not a brother. He was nothing. Chapter 4. Sitting in the dark kitchen, he saw his reflection in the black screen of the microwave. He saw a tired, thin man with empty eyes. And he realized a simple, terrible truth. He was starving. Not for food, but for care. For kindness. How could he feed his sister when he was so empty himself? The real problem was not her sickness. It was his own. In that moment of complete defeat, he found a strange peace. He was not a great chef. He was just a hungry man. So he stood up and did something he had not done in 10 years. He decided to cook for himself. He took out the pot again. He chopped the vegetables slowly. This time, he was not thinking about love or healing. He was just thinking, I am hungry. I need to eat. He made the simple chicken soup again. When it was done, he poured 2 bowls. But this time, he did not take the first bowl to Chloe. He sat down at his kitchen table, alone, and he took a spoon of soup for himself. It was warm. It was real. It was the first real food he had tasted in years. It felt like the sun rising inside his chest. He ate the whole bowl. Then, he took the second bowl to Chloe's room. He did not say anything. He just put it beside her bed. She was watching him. She saw something different in his eyes. Not a famous chef. Not a desperate brother. Just a man who had finally eaten. She picked up the spoon and took a small taste. A tear rolled down her face. But this time, she smiled. It tastes like home, she whispered. From that day, she started to get better. Arthur never went back to his restaurant. He opened a small shop that sold only one thing, chicken soup. And every single day, before he served anyone else, he sat down and ate the first bowl himself. Because we all have a special gift. But you cannot share your light with the world if you are living in the dark. The most important person you ever have to feed is you.